Welcome everyone to the Exoskeleton and Wearable Robotics related news for January 26th through 31st. That's week 5 of 2026. First up for this week, we have some consumer related news. Wired has done an interesting article where they're comparing the Hypershell Ultra to the Densest Pro. What I think is really highlighted here is that this is the first time that we have a head-to-head comparison that is easy to understand, and I think ushers in a brand new era in exoskeleton technology. Tech journalists can take exoskeletons and compare them to one another. Which one comes on top? I personally am not that interested because, fortunately, I have both a Hypershell and a Densest that have been supplied to me by the companies, and I've gotten to test them both on myself and on Dr. Sugar and on my grandmother, and I know that they fulfill what I see as the primary purpose. They'll help people that are now getting older and are having mobility issues stay active and stay mobile. But I think starting to get now into this land of comparisons, what we have seen with mobile phones, what we have seen with laptops, what we have seen with cars, with games, where you can start comparing the devices to one another in a easy to understand method and get the public involved and be able to have ratings and opinions, which one is better for what. I think it will generate more discussion and more interest in this technology, and it's most certainly the first time ever that this has happened in the public domain. Previously, obviously, we've had discussions like this, but they have been more focused on ergonomic groups that you will have to specifically join, be it a standards group, be it a committee or something like that. So I think this is yet another big step forward for the exoskeleton industry. In other consumer exoskeleton news, Dr. Karol Zerek found this on the internet. In Budapest, they are now offering a service where you do a 2.5-hour exoskeleton robotic power walk through the city. And for those who have been in old Europe, there's a lot of stairs. So 2.5 hours going through the city center. They have the stops here that they're planning to visit. That looks roughly to be 5,000 to 10,000 steps, and it's a very hilly environment with a lot of incline up and incline down. So maybe this is going to be the future, similar to the way that we used to have once upon a time Segway tourist trips. But obviously the Segway still requires a paved surface, versus this now allows you to combine the best of both worlds, where you get the additional mobility and you can also use it on stairs. So you can focus on enjoying the sights rather than huffing and puffing. And again, similar to what the previous story from the Wired head-to-head comparison has shown, the more that people either out of shape or have some sort of decrease in mobility, so not a full loss in mobility, but a decrease in mobility, the more that this technology gets to shine and the more obvious it is that it is helping them. Moving on in technology news, this is not just for exoskeletons, but there's a study published in Nature on trying to streamline and quantify air-filled chambers for the purposes of generating motion. So this can be for wearable devices, like Wearable Robotics has been doing this for quite some time, where they have inflatable exoskeletons. There have been research labs that have been doing this, but it can also be used for general robotics. So what this paper is suggesting is that you can not only streamline the way that this technology is discussed and described, but you can take that a step further and you can have a complicated inflatable actuator and divide it up into a basic chunk, and then repeat simulating and describing the basic chunk, where you simplify the mathematics and the simulations that you would need to run. So you are introducing an error, but you're also simplifying the process. So this could make both describing and creating future exoskeletons significantly easier for everyone involved. There's a new podcast episode by Humotech featuring Philip Malcolm, and this one focuses on characterizing and understanding human mobility and motion, specifically while walking. And this is a big chunk of the world of exoskeletons, where we now live in a world where people want to have some metrics. People want to know numerically how did exoskeleton technology influence outcomes, be it time to fatigue, safety, muscle loading. So it's one thing to have subjective information where people can share how they felt about wearing the exoskeleton. It's different to have objective information. And the podcast does a good job with equating that to force plates that many shoe stores now use, especially specialized or sport shoe stores use, where you step on the plate and it does a quick analysis. The analysis can be used to guide what type of shoes or shoe inserts will be most appropriate for you. So then the question is, how do we take this to the next level? How do we do it so you're not standing in place, but you can do it while you're in motion? How can the entire gait be analyzed without having to put sensors on? What are the metrics that they'll be looking for? So this is a little bit more of a research-heavy podcast, but it goes hand in hand with exoskeleton technology, because at the end of the day, we want to have both good exoskeletons, but be also to describe what is it that they are doing in numerical fashion, be able to put some graphs and numbers to it. Once again, this week has seen quite a few job opening positions in the exoskeleton industry. I suggest that you look at the archive copy on the website, or if you're subscribed to the mail version, all the links are here. There's positions open: Skip, Marcy Bionics, Hororix, Northern Arizona, and much more. So this is 3 continents with open positions for exoskeleton specialists, or those who want to transition. And obviously, if you're a company or a university lab and you have positions open, don't hesitate to email me what they are at hello@exoskeletonreport.com. And finally is the event section. If you were to just click on this, you will go to the events calendar on the website. There's a webinar coming up with Sarah Bellini-Ross, conferences, and much more. I try to have all the Wearable Robotics exoskeleton related events here, and if you have any, once again, do not hesitate to send it to me. And that's it for the news for this week. It's slower news week, it would appear, or maybe I missed something. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters. If you like this content, if you like this podcast, please don't hesitate to reach out. Also, if you want to advertise here or on the website, the available advertisement slots are starting to run out for the year, so now would be a good time to do so. Thanks for listening, and I will see you all next week. Ciao!